introducing our Wheel of Death act, a very common circus sleigh act involving two such wheels rotating around a central axis. However, as I hope I've proven so far, we here at Kyle like to do things a bit bigger, a bit better, and a bit more expensive. Surrounding the audience here, I'm sure you all know. This was designed by theater architect Mark Fisher, a gentleman who's known for a lot of outdoor entertainment spaces. For example, the Wall Tour with Pete Ford, he designed that as well. So in collaboration with the Circus Soleil team, he created this, with the design being to kind of surround the audience, break the mold between a standardized proscenium theater, where there's a very clear, distinct barrier between performer and spectator, as we wanted to kind of shake that up a little bit. Now, if you guys over on that side just making your way in, and those of you over here, use either staircase and make your way down to the middle section, and the middle section only, and go ahead and have a seat wherever you want. But make sure it's in the middle. Another good example of Circus Soleil's creativity in a colorful forest scene is a firelight character who passes from tree to tree, sailing through the forest, very Tarzan-esque. Once we get everybody situated, or at least most everybody, we're going to dive right into what we call a little more magical. Remember, guys, the middle section only. Please, you can welcome to come across if you so desire. But the main design behind this theater was to really kind of break that mold of the proscenium style theater. Those of you who are familiar with theater types, like a three-quarters crust, for example, where you have the stage kind of surrounded mostly by the audiences, we wanted to do something a little bit backwards from that one. So the audience themselves are surrounded by stage. As the entire room, everything you can see is technically considered performance space. All right, that's good enough for me. So, display of acrobatics, core strength, and precise choreography that is definitely not to be missed live. Now, throughout the show, our artists are trained to jump, fall, dive, and disappear into this void. This is accomplished safely with a series of acrobatic nets which are... Allow me to introduce the sand cliff deck. And here you have it. This is what we are known for. It is 50-foot long, 25 feet wide, and 5 feet thick, fully rotating platform serves as a service for martial arts, shadow puppetry, and death-defying acrobatics. It is capable of rotating 360 degrees, going flat to 100 degrees vertical, and move up and down about 90 feet, all at the same time. It is controlled by a vertical gantry crane, which uses 4 hydraulic cylinders to make it all happen. The combined weight of the stage and the gantry crane being about 380,000 pounds. Or, to put it into more logical explanation, the fully loaded weight of a 747 jet plane. It is also capable of firing 80 steel pegs individually or in groups, as you guys can see here. We'll dive into that in just a little bit more. A fun fact about the stage: when we were actually putting the theater together, you can't exactly walk in something like this through the front door. So we actually just removed a large section of the roof and lowered the pieces in from the sky to assemble it down into here. That's impressive, right? So who wants to actually see this thing in action? There we go, okay. So, in this scene, we have the twin sister, her nursemaid, and the 2 valets fleeing the warriors up a steep mountainside. Those steel pegs, which we talked about, are about a foot long, come flying out of there at a speed of 13 miles per hour and are synchronized with the artist's movement. They are used as acrobatic handholds in this scene as they represent arrows. They are fired by our spearmen and our archers that are placed out in the audience, and the handrail is fired up at the stage. This is the scene that also uses that world's largest airbag, which you can see right down there as well, and uses that 70-foot fall that we discussed a little bit earlier. Now you may be asking yourselves, Brian, why is it called a sand cliff deck? As you saw just in that scene, it represents cliff. Time kept in reserve. So, it is cleaned and maintained by a specially designed cork processing machine, designed and built by our genius carpenters backstage, as cork is a very fickle thing. If it's too dry, it becomes brittle and dusty, leaving a thin, slippery layer across the deck. But if it's too moist, it becomes sticky, leaving the opposite of a problem when you kind of need to slide all around, and you can't. And these three circles, here, here, and here, are actually elevators that we can use to store the cork inside the stage itself at the top of the show and rapidly transition from a ship to a beachside, just like that. Now, in addition to all of this crazy, mind-blowing technology, our stage has a really big secret it knows you're there. And what I mean by that is our stage has sensors in it that is reactive to touch. Think of it like a giant iPad or a smartphone, except we came up with this technology years before the first iPhone even hit the market. To give you an example of that, I'd like to go ahead and invite our lead technician, Mark, on out here. How about a good afternoon? Back to our 3 high-definition cameras up at the top of the house, projecting this image back in real time. Thank you so much, Mark. So this is used predominantly in our battlefield scene. A bird's eye view of a muddy battlefield as you see our artists running, jumping, and sliding across the deck, creating this ripply effect to kind of create the illusion of a muddy battlefield from a bird's eye view. That's cool, right? Very. So, about halfway through the show, our stage is once again tilted vertical in a scene we call refuge. Though now, our humble mountain tribesmen fleeing the encroaching warriors and spearmen along with the good guy characters. Now, when you're being chased by bad guys, I think the only logical recourse is to turn your home into a man-powered flying machine. At least that's what I could do if I had the option. So, this bird, as we call it, is one of many puppets designed exclusively for us. The motions of it are completely controlled by the 5 artists inside of it, while the flight itself is controlled by 5 winches that are multi-axis synchronized. So the flight itself actually happens over your head. Those of you that are familiar with American football, the sky cam that we use are for each and every single one of you. And it gives you a couple of things. One, it gives you a free gift with tickets.